Hello. Today we'll be talking about the thief who stole thousands of credit card information and then later made a blog post admitting how he did it and how much money he made of it. I'm harvesting credit card numbers and even passwords from your site. Here's how. So this is an amazing article written by David Gilbertson. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. And this is the article that I was talking about, the supposed thief who stole thousands of credit card information and even passwords from random websites. So how did he do it? Now, for his malicious code to actually run, it needs to meet a very simple criteria that is almost present in every website, right? Every website, almost every real website which has real users and has a real product which people are using on a daily basis, almost every one of them has an input type of password, or if they're accepting payments, then probably something of card number, CVC, or something related to that, right? And it should have a form element. Of course, it will have a form element. The input will be wrapped in a form element, right? Now, that is the only requirement that this guy's code actually requires. So, what does he actually do? What he does is that whenever there's a blur event on any password or credit card field, which he has like a certain JSON or a certain constant file where he has all this saved, like it should be an input type password, or the input or the name of the input should be a card number or CVC or whatever it is, right? And then what he does is that he takes data from this information, he grabs the cookies, and he sends it over to his own server. Now, I mean, all this is fine. Sure, I have written some malicious code, but then there's no way that this guy has access to my website, because he cannot just inject code into my website, right? He cannot perform any XSS attacks or any cross script attacks on my website. That's just not possible, because XSS is very well protected against, right? But what if the attacker successfully injects any code into your website, right? If he does inject any code, then he can inject a lot of code. That's what it means. So for distributing his code, for injecting his code into our websites, what David did was that he made an NPM package out of it. Because we all love NPM. We all install from NPM almost on a daily basis for any project that we are building, right? And that's where he found his distribution method. He built an NPM package which people installed. Now, they didn't know what was actually inside that NPM package, what it was doing, where it was sending data. And yeah, just game over. Once he has access to your code, once he can read through your website, yeah, it's done. He can siphon off as much information as he wants. So let's see exactly what did he build. He built a very simplistic NPM package which allows you to log consoles in any color. Okay, I mean, that's all right. People do love this fancy stuff once in a while, sure. And if anyone did download David's, colorful package, then his Trojan horse or his malicious code would automatically be injected into his website, into their website. Now you must be thinking that, wait a minute, aren't most NPM packages open sourced? Can't I read their code on GitHub? Well, you would be right. But then there's a way around it. You can actually have different versions of code hosted on GitHub. That is, your open source project can be of different code, can have different code. And the actual package that you're shipping to NPM can be different. So, that just spoils your argument, right? And what about the other arguments? That, wait a minute, I would notice the notice requests that are going out, right? But David does not send any network requests when you're viewing the network tab. What about the penetration testers who always view your HTTP requests? I mean, you're lucky if you have a penetration tester, but what if you're a solo indie hacker? In that case, this argument doesn't stand for you. But then for those people who work at large companies, sure. But then this guy's code does not ship anything to his server during weekdays. So, I'm really amazed at this guy's genius. So, yeah, great. What about other arguments that you could read the minified source in the node modules and see what's exactly going on? Well, this is what his actual code looks like to send a fetch request, that is a post request to his server. And I'm not sure if you can find out what's exactly going on over here. So what he's done over here is that he's used the most basic form of cryptography. He's shifted each letter of the word fetch by one letter, and then that's what he's using to actually ship or actually post his payload to his server. I mean, I don't think anyone in your free time or just by looking at it or glancing at it once will be actually able to understand what's exactly going on over here. You'll probably glance over this code and see, okay, I mean, whatever, there's some map, some sort of logic is going on over here. All right, so I'm sure that by now David has convinced you, and as he had convinced me by this point, that OF, I'm actually very screwed, and this guy has a lot of money siphoned off from different websites, and who knows where this NPM package is being used actually, right? So don't worry about it. He's not a bad guy. He's just trying to warn all of us what can happen if we just blindly download NPM packages and use them across every possible way. We should be very careful when we are downloading packages from NPM because we don't know what code they might contain. But what if someone had actually written this malicious code and it was downloaded in millions of applications? Who knows if it has actually been already written and it's being used in multiple places? We don't know. Then how can we prevent our own applications from ever facing such a security breach? Well, first of all, you need to be very cautious which NPM package you're installing and where you're using it. So general recommendation for this is that whenever you're building user sensitive applications or your application has user sensitive data, such as taking in passwords or credit card information, then those specific parts of your application should be separately hosted and be written in a different manner. That is, they should not be relying on any external packages at all. They should probably be separately hosted, very well audited, and written in complete bare bones JavaScript without relying on any external package. Or the other good approach is to actually use some very trusted parties such as Stripe for payments or Clerk or Supabase for authentication. It's generally never a good idea, almost never to be a good idea, to handle your authentication by yourself or handle payments by yourself or any user sensitive information by yourself. It's never a good idea, almost never. Another tip that I would like to give you regarding NPM packages is that you should research them very deeply. See where this is being used, why this is actually useful to your application, how well maintained is it, who the writers are. There's this amazing tool called Sneak Advisor, which actually does all of this that I said for you. You just have to give it the link of the NPM package, and it will give you a very detailed report of what actually is going on with this NPM package. That's about it for this video. I hope you had a really eye-opening experience as I did when I first read this article. And I'll be linking the article down below so you can go ahead and read it for yourself and see the genius of David firsthand. That's all for this video. I'll see you in the next one.